Psalm 30, Praise for Deliverance and Restoration. Psalm 30 is a psalm of thanksgiving that celebrates God's deliverance from suffering, danger, and the brink of death. Traditionally attributed to King David, it stands as a personal testimony of restoration and a public call to praise. The psalm moves from gratitude for rescue, to reflection on human weakness, and finally to joyful recognition of God's transforming grace. It is often understood as pointing beyond individual experience to the greater reality of salvation and restoration ultimately revealed through Jesus Christ. The psalm opens with a declaration of praise. I will extol you, O Lord, for you have lifted me up. The language expresses relief and gratitude for being rescued from severe distress, described metaphorically as being drawn up from the pit. This image conveys not only physical danger but also emotional and spiritual despair. God is portrayed as the active deliverer who intervenes in human suffering, bringing healing and restoration. The acknowledgement, "You have healed me," emphasizes that recovery and deliverance are not self-generated but flow from divine mercy and grace. From personal thanksgiving, the psalm expands into a communal call to worship. Sing praise to the Lord, you saints of His. Deliverance is not meant to remain a private experience but becomes the basis for shared praise among God's people. The psalm reflects on the nature of God's dealings with humanity, stating that His anger is momentary while His favor endures throughout life. This contrast highlights the temporary nature of discipline compared to the lasting reality of divine mercy. The well-known statement that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning expresses the assurance that sorrow is not final, even if it is real and prolonged. It presents a pattern of hope rooted in God's faithful timing rather than immediate relief. The psalm then turns inward to a moment of reflection and warning. The psalmist recalls a time of prosperity when he assumed stability, saying, "I shall never be moved." This self-confidence is shown to be misplaced, as it led to complacency. When divine favor seemed hidden, distress followed, revealing how fragile human security is apart from God. This section underscores the instability of relying on circumstances rather than on God's sustaining presence. In response to distress, the psalm becomes a direct plea. What profit is there in my blood, when I go down to the pit? This is a raw and honest prayer, expressing the desire for continued life in order to give praise to God. It reflects the belief that life itself is an opportunity for worship and testimony. The appeal for mercy highlights dependence on God's grace, recognizing that preservation and restoration come not from human worthiness but from divine compassion. The final section shifts into a celebration of complete reversal. You have turned for me my mourning into dancing. This transformation from sorrow to joy is expressed through vivid imagery. Mourning becomes dancing, and sackcloth, a symbol of grief and repentance, is replaced with garments of joy. The purpose of this restoration is not merely personal comfort but continued worship. The psalmist declares that his life and glory are dedicated to praising God without silence. The emphasis rests on gratitude that endures as a response to divine rescue and renewal. Several key themes emerge throughout the psalm. God is portrayed as a deliverer who rescues from deep distress and brings healing. Suffering is real but temporary, while divine mercy is enduring. Human confidence apart from God proves unstable, especially in times of prosperity. Honest and direct prayer is welcomed in both anguish and thanksgiving. Above all, God is seen as the one who transforms sorrow into joy, restoring life and purpose. This psalm is often understood in relation to the work of Jesus Christ, who is seen as the ultimate deliverer from death and despair. Through His suffering and resurrection, mourning is transformed into lasting joy, and life is restored beyond the limits of human brokenness. The psalm's movement from the pit to praise reflects the broader pattern of redemption and renewal found in Him. In summary, Psalm 30 is a testimony of God's saving power, turning despair into joy and weakness into praise. It teaches reliance on divine mercy rather than self-confidence and celebrates the transforming work of God, who restores life and inspires continual worship.
Psalm 30, a psalm, a song of the dedication of the house of David. I will extol you, O Lord, for you have lifted me up and have not let my foes rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried out to you, and you healed me. O Lord, you brought my soul up from the grave. You have kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. Sing praise to the Lord, you saints of his, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holy name. For his anger is but for a moment, his favor is for life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Now in my prosperity I said, I shall never be moved. Lord, by your favor you have made my mountains stand strong. You hid your face, and I was troubled. I cried out to you, O Lord, and to the Lord I made supplication. What profit is there in my blood, when I go down to the pit? Will the dust praise you? Will it declare your truth? Hear, O Lord, and have mercy on me. Lord, be my helper. You have turned for me my mourning into dancing. You have put off my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness, to the end that my glory may sing praise to you and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to you forever.